Once upon a time, in a small, quiet village, there lived a woman named Clara. Clara was known for her kindness and good heart, but she had a peculiar problem that no one could quite understand. No matter what she did, she couldn't stop queefing. It started when she was a young woman, and after a particularly intense workout one afternoon. She noticed that every time she moved, whether walking, sitting, or even laughing, there would be a sound. At first, she thought it was a fluke, but soon it became a constant part of her life. It wasn't that Clara was uncomfortable with her body. She loved it and had always been confident. But the uncontrollable sounds were embarrassing, especially in public. The queefing would often come at the most awkward times. During a quiet town meeting, while she was at church, or even when she was giving a speech at the annual harvest festival. The sounds echoed like little bursts of air, always at the worst possible moments. People would glance her way, some with confusion, others with stifled giggles. Clara, ever the professional, would blush but continue as if nothing was happening. She sought help from doctors, yoga instructors, and even a couple of old herbalists. No one could offer a solution. And though she tried everything, pelvic exercises, special diets, and even meditation, it remained a part of her life. As the years passed, Clara learned to accept the sound. She began to laugh along with others, reframing it as just another quirky part of her personality. She started making light of the situation, often saying things like, "Ah, there she goes again," when the inevitable sound would appear. One day, the village council called a special meeting, and Clara, as always, was asked to give a speech about the importance of community. As she stepped up to the podium, a hush fell over the crowd. She knew that the moment she opened her mouth, the queefing would inevitably happen. But this time, something different happened. As Clara began to speak, she let out a small, soft puff of air, and the room burst into laughter, not in mockery, but in understanding. Clara paused, gave them all a knowing smile, and continued with her speech. The laughter faded, replaced by a warmth and connection that hadn't been there before. By the end of her speech, Clara realized something. Her queefing wasn't a flaw. It was part of who she was, a reminder that life is imperfect, and we can't always control what happens. It was a source of comedy, sure, but also a reminder that everyone has something that makes them unique. And through her acceptance, the village came to love her not in spite of her quirks, but because of them. From that day on, Clara was known not just as a kind woman, but as the one who could make even the most awkward moments feel comfortable. And though the queefing never stopped, it became a source of joy and laughter that brought the village closer together. Subscribe to Editor Unwind.
I have a question. Is queefing normal?
Yes, queefing is completely normal. It's a natural occurrence when air gets trapped in the vagina, which can happen during activities like sexual intercourse, exercise, or even certain body movements. The air is then released, producing the sound often associated with queefing. It's not a sign of any medical issue, and most people experience it at some point. While it can be embarrassing in certain situations, it's generally harmless. Subscribe to Editor Unwind.
Does penis size matter?
Penis size does not directly affect the occurrence of queefing. Queefing is primarily caused by air being trapped inside the vagina, which is usually the result of movement, pressure, or certain positions during sexual activity. While deeper penetration can sometimes introduce more air into the vagina, it's the movement and position, rather than penis size, that are more likely to cause air to be trapped and then released. Queefing can happen with any size penis, and it's a normal and natural bodily function. Subscribe to Editor Unwind.